Well, the top Republican on the House Judiciary Committee is threatening to subpoena the Department of Justice for documents on the Clinton email probe. The threat comes in the wake of the firing of Andrew McCabe and what some are calling plots among the highest levels to protect Hillary Clinton. Ellison Barber is here live tracking the very latest. Hello, Ellison.
Hi, Shannon. The decision to fire McCabe allegedly came because of things discovered during an investigation by the DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz. Horowitz and his team are looking into a few different allegations in regards to the FBI and DOJ's actions before the 2016 election, largely in regards to the investigation of Hillary Clinton's private email server. The report, of course, is not public yet, and according to the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, it's taking too long.
Are you going to subpoena these documents?
Well, the answer is yes, and as I say, the whole matter is coming to a head. We've had communications with the Department of Justice about this.
Chairman Bob Goodlatte says Congress has only seen a small percentage of the documents collected. The ones they've seen include text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. To some, what they have already proves nefarious action.
The FBI is in cover-up mode, and their Justice Department's helping them along.
High-ranking people throughout the government, not just the FBI, high-ranking people had a plot to not have Hillary Clinton, indicted.
To others, the documents, the IG investigation have become part of an out-of-control conspiracy.
The origin of the Inspector General of the Department of Justice launching this this investigation was to look at the totality of 2016 and actually as far back as 2015 to look at the behavior of Director Comey and the FBI in terms of how it handled Secretary Clinton's email. At some point last fall, it became more about the text messages that were discovered between various FBI agents who were involved in that investigation. If there was a deep state that was in favor of Hillary Clinton, she'd be president right now. If there was a deep state that controlled the FBI that wanted to go easy on Hillary Clinton, they never would have started an investigation of her.
In a new poll from Monmouth University, 74% of Americans said the deep state probably or definitely exist within the federal government. Monmouth defined deep state as the possible existence of a group of unelected government and military officials who secretly manipulate or direct national policy. They looked at privacy concerns as well, and the director of Monmouth's Polling Institute said across the board the findings were worrisome because, in his words, the strength of our government relies on public faith and protecting our freedoms, and that isn't particularly robust right now. Shannon?
All right, Ellison, thank you very much. Joining us now to talk about the so-called deep state, the McCabe firing, another potential government shutdown, and much more, Republican Study Committee Chairman Congressman Mark Walker, who also sits on the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Great to have you with us tonight.
Always a privilege, Shannon.
Okay, so let's start with the deep state. Do those numbers surprise you at all that Ellison was reporting there? 74% of Americans polled think it's actually a thing, and it's manipulating potentially government action.
No, I would agree. In fact, those numbers across Congress, 74% of our Congress members would probably agree that deep state exists because we see it on a daily basis.
All right. So with that in mind, I thought it was interesting as well in those numbers that it crossed party lines. It was Republicans, independents, and Democrats all in the 70s who believe that that is going on as now the House looks at possibly subpoenaing the FBI because you're not getting cooperation there.
Exactly. There's no question for the deep state people here in this culture. It's not about passion or policy. It's about retaining power. Far beyond Democrats and Republicans, it's about keeping that power and doing whatever they need to do to keep and retain that power.
Okay, so let's talk about somebody who's not in power anymore, and that's Andrew McCabe.
Sure,
he's gone. He was going to officially retire. The Attorney General stepped in and said, no, I'm going to terminate him instead. Now, he was acting, he said, on the recommendations of the IG, and then his investigation was forwarded to this Office of Professional Responsibility within the DOJ. Now, Robin Ashton, at least online, is the one who is still heading up that agency, that portion of the agency. Here's what then Attorney General Eric Holder had to say about her. When he appointed her back in 2010, he said, as a veteran career prosecutor, Robin is uniquely qualified to serve as counsel for professional responsibility, and I am confident she will lead the office with the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and dedication. Now, that, to my understanding, that's the person who ultimately told the Attorney General that McCabe should be fired.
Absolutely. And in 7 years of service, her integrity, Robin Ashton's integrity, has never been in question. So you look at this, of the when, the investigation actually started before President Trump was even inaugurated. If you look at the who, you have 2 Democratic nominated and appointed people. You have the Inspector General Horowitz, 2011, and this Robin Ashton, 2010, by Eric Holder. Nobody has ever questioned their integrity. So now you reach the place of what? What were the charges? There was leaking and also lacking of candor. If you look at lacking of candor and look at the antonyms of candor, it's dishonesty, it's deceit, it's lying. So DOJ Attorney General Sessions made the right decision in releasing McCabe. There's much more to this, and I believe we're just starting at the beginning of it.
Do you have any idea or any sense, better than we do, about when that IG report will come out so that everybody can see it? My understanding is that McCabe's team said they did have a chance to see it, and they said up until a couple of days before his firing, they were still getting exculpatory evidence that would have benefited him.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure this IG inspector's report comes out for the American people to be able to see. Do we have a specific date? We have not been given it, but I'm advocating, along with many others, that the American public can see this firsthand, because I believe this is the scratch of surface of peeling back the layers on the deep state here in Washington, D.C.
Okay, now, we are looking at yet another potential government shutdown if you guys don't get a funding deal done by Friday night, midnight. We'll be here in case you want to join us. Hopefully you'll have a deal by then, but if you don't, I wanted to read something that I saw you quoted in The Hill, that you're worried because Republican leaders, you say, will attach anything that leans to the left, because at this point, I believe they're going to count on more Democrat votes than Republicans. And the piece goes on to talk about a number of things that the left would love to see, and they may get tacked onto this. Would you vote for it?
No, if these Democratic left-leaning riders get attached to this omnibus, there's no way that I could support it. I think 80 Republicans voted against it the last time, or something, some version of this. It would be very troubling for many of us who have promised the people that we represent that we would not support ideas such as the legalization or the stabilization of Obamacare, things of those natures, making sure that pro-life riders are certainly strong. It is trending the right direction from our conference meeting we had this tonight, but we want to make sure, specifically this is about spending. If you look at the last 3 years of the Obama administration, the deficits ran 15%, 12%, and 13%. Right now, we're heading at a 21% deficit. So for Republicans who have been jumping up and down talking about fiscal responsibility, it would be hypocritical of us not to do the same at this point.
Okay, so odds of a shutdown on Friday night?
I will say 10%. How about that?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
low.
We will see if your prediction comes true. Congressman, great to have you with us.
Thank you, Shannon, and congratulations on the great February, best month ever, I hear.
Thank you very much. We're working hard every night, and thanks to you and other great guests who join us. Thank you. All right, we'll have highlights from President Trump's trip to New Hampshire, featuring everyday Americans with powerful stories to tell. The president also provoking outrage from some locals incensed over his latest comments on sanctuary cities. Stick around for a live report on that. And also, attack dog attorney Joe DeGeneva joining the Trump legal team. Does it signal a new, even more aggressive approach to special counsel Robert Mueller? Our panel will debate.